Sergeant Frank. Spike sat behind his desk and looked out of the window. Outside, cars moved slowly in the cold, gray rain. He looked down at the gray hairs on his arms. He looked down at the gray hairs on his arms. His round stomach pushed against the desk. This was his final month before he retired from the police. For Frank, his last day couldn't come too soon. Frank felt angry as he thought about the money he would get when he retired. It wasn't enough money to pay for a short holiday on the cold and rainy east coast of England where he lived. It certainly wouldn't pay for his dream holiday, luxury, round the world cruise. Just then, Inspector Spencer came to Frank's desk. Spencer had perfect white teeth, and he was always smiling. 3 years earlier, Spencer had been promoted. Now he was an inspector at the young age of 40. Frank wasn't so lucky. He had worked for the police for 40 years, and he was still a sergeant. Frank knew he wasn't as handsome or as friendly as Spencer. Sorry, Inspector Spencer. But Frank was a better policeman. Frank had a nose for crime, and Spencer didn't. That nose meant Frank could think like a criminal and solve the most difficult crimes. As a result, the younger man often asked for Frank's help. In fact, it was the only time Spencer spoke to him. "Hey Frank, can I ask you something?" asked Spencer. Frank wasn't surprised. Do you know who the Do you know who the Babbingtons are? Spencer continued. Everyone knew who the Babbingtons were. Ronald Babbington was the super rich owner of Babbington Oil. And his wife, Tabitha, was a model. Together they loved showing how rich they were. They often appeared in magazines like Hello with their beautiful house and their collection of cars. Last month, Ronald has bought an enormous diamond of Tabitha. Diamond for Tabitha. The diamond sat in a large gold and glass case at the end of a long, red carpet. There was an alarm system to keep it safe. Spencer continued to explain. Someone told us about a plan to steal the Babbington diamond. Frank tried to look through. He was surprised. Peggy, the owner of the dog, and Doc Bob heard two local criminals making the plan. Spencer said, "She asked us to keep her name secret, of course." "Okay," Frank said. He waited for the question he knew would come. So Spencer asked, "What should we do? They haven't committed a crime yet." Frank looked out the window. He remembered his retirement money. He didn't want to be alone in his retirement, but the money wouldn't even be enough to buy a cat. The sound of a car outside brought him back to the conversation with Spencer. He put his fingers together under his chin to look as if he was thinking. In fact, he was, but not in the way Inspector Spencer expected. Listen, do this a clever way, said Frank. Let them steal the diamond. If you catch them with the diamond, you can arrest them, no problem. But Frank, said Spencer, we would need the Babbingtons to agree. And there are laws against trying to trick criminals like that, you know. That's why you let them steal the diamond. Then, as if by chance, you stop them from driving too fast as they escape, search the car, and find the diamond. You don't need to tell anyone that we know about their plan. And you will go to the prison. Okay, Spencer was uncomfortable with this idea Frank was suggesting, but he knew it would work. Frank intended, of course, the officer who arrested them needs to be reliable. Spencer understood immediately. Are you sure you want to do it, Frank? It could be dangerous. I will take 2 young officers with me. But, yes, of course, I want to do it. Why? Asked Spencer. You're gonna retire soon. Don't you want to take it easy? That's exactly why I wanted it. Frank replied, my last case will be my best. A few days later, Frank visited the dog and duck Bob after work. Did you get it? He asked Peggy, as she gave him his drink. Yes, I have now got a perfect copy of the Babbington diamond, she said. I told the glassmaker I was a big fan of the Babbington, and I said that my boyfriend wouldn't buy me a diamond of my own. You need a new boyfriend, said Frank. If I were your boyfriend, I would buy you a diamond ring and take you on a long luxury cruise. Oh, really? She said and smiled. Frank was sitting in the back seat of the police car. The car was heading in a small road next to the Babbington house. In the front seats were 2 strong young police officers. At 23:30, a message came in on the police radio. This is a man and a tall woman had met outside the dog and duck Bob. At 23:37, they got into a car. The man started the car and drove away from the pub. At midnight, the thieves passed the hidden police car on the way to the Babbington's house. At 12:13, the woman climbed over one of the garden walls. A second hidden police team watched her climb over while the man waited in the car. At 12:20, the woman climbed back over the wall. She had an excited smile on her face. She ran back to the car. Smiling, the man waited for him to jump in, and then they drove away. Almost immediately, the thieves passed Frank's car. The young police officer in the driver's seats switched on the blue lights and followed them. Inside the car, the thieves were afraid. What are they doing here? The man shouted. You said you turned off the alarms. Relax, I did. She replied, remember, the police don't know what we have done. Just be normal. We can walk away from this with the diamond. The man stopped the car and he opened and opened his window. "Is there a problem, officer?" he asked.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit.